In this lecture, we'll look at some of the bigger picture issues for humans and wildfires. Can we plan or predict for wildfires in ways that might reduce the impact? And what's in store for us in the future? And as a side note, is smoky really helping? This graph shows the amount of area burned each year by wildfires. More wildfires are burning more acres every year. This can occur through a combination of there just being more fires, as well as the fires themselves being larger or being mega fires. Obviously, warmer and dry conditions will lead to more and larger fires. The history of fire suppression itself has allowed fuel to build up in forests. If we had done more controlled burns, or maybe let some fires run their full course, then the forest will not be so fire prone, and today's fires would be likely to be less intense and smaller. Fuel load also increases when pests and diseases kill trees. Mountain pine beetles have devastated forests within Colorado and Wyoming. These beetles are native, and historically they didn't take over as much and do as much damage. But with more droughts, warmer winters, and denser forests, their populations have expanded. These beetles form tunnels and lay eggs under the tree bark, making the tree susceptible to diseases like blue stain fungus, and thus more likely to die. This leads to large swatches of dead trees and a huge fuel load just waiting for a lightning strike or a spark. Changes in climate can also impact the likelihood of fires. These maps show changes in some climate factors from 1979 to 2013. Look at the various places on the globe where there has been an increase in maximum temperature or minimum temperature. You can see that the western part of the United States really stands out for both warmer highs as well as less cold low temperatures. The number of rain-free days per year has also been increasing, again, particularly in the Western United States. Drier and windy conditions shown here by maximum wind speed, which has increased in the Western United States, also make wildfires more likely to happen and then also more likely to spread. You can see that these hotspots are also occurring in the Amazon in South America, another area that recently has been experiencing a lot of wildfires, as well as in the southern parts of Australia that experienced very large wildfires over the past year. Overall, globally, fire season, based on changes in weather conditions, is now 20% longer than it used to be. We looked at this figure earlier showing how the cost of firefighting has been increasing. If fire season is longer and there are more fires, then obviously this is going to cost us more. But what other factors might also contribute? Of course, more fires mean that these costs will go up, but it is more than just that. This graph shows the number of people living near a wild area has been increasing, as shown by the blue bars for each of these different decades. Because of this property, firefighters are increasingly required to defend these areas from wildfires. Not surprisingly, the number of structures being destroyed by fires each year has also been increasing, as shown by these orange bars. If people weren't allowed to build houses in these fire-prone locations, then this wouldn't happen. We could better manage how construction occurs in these wildlife-urban interface areas. Land use planning can be done in a couple of different ways, either by using building permits that eliminate the option of building certain types of structures in that area, or by using building codes that are appropriate for the types of fires that might be likely to occur in that area. The image shows the Crosby subdivision in Rancho Santa Fe, which is near San Diego in California. This was designed with new building codes. In a 2007 fire, the older neighborhoods in the area lost 50 homes, but this neighborhood lost none. Human activities are increasingly influencing how many wildfires there are. Over a 20-year time period, human wildfires accounted for 84% of the total fires and tripled the length of the fire season and were responsible for 50% of the acres that were burned. In California, human activities are responsible for about 97% of the fires. What's going on here? Is it people throwing cigarettes out their car windows or performing arson? Arson is relatively rare, and in California, less than 50 fires a year are caused by cigarettes. If you recall, California this year has had about 7,000 wildfires. The top causes of ignition are equipment use. Power lines and electrical equipment is a major source in California. These power lines can break in high winds and spark, causing fires to start. And many of these power lines move through remote areas of forest. Pacific Gas and Electric, one of the major California power firms, has agreed to a $13.5 billion settlement with wildfire victims for 4 major fires associated with their transmission lines. Other things that can spark include weed whackers, lawnmowers, and chainsaws, hammering on a stake or dragging a chain, hitting a road behind your car. A trailer with a flat tire had a wheel rim kicking up sparks, leading to the car fire with 1,600 structures burned and 8 people killed. There are other direct things such as fireworks and burning debris, small fires that get out of control and lead to much larger fires. And these are also important, but they're relatively minor compared to some of the other factors that contribute to wildfires. Lightning is a contributor, but generally not a major one. This year is actually a bit of an anomaly, especially in California and some other parts of the West, as several severe lightning storms have been the cause of at least 23 of the wildfires that are currently burning. Public education campaigns can help, and also power companies now often shut their power down when the fire danger is high. While this might prevent wildfires from starting, it does mean that more and more people's homes have to go through the periodic disruption of not having any electricity. You can see the contribution that human activities have in this graph. This graph shows the month of the year and also the number of fires that occur in this year. This consolidates information over about a 20-year period. All the blue bars are represent the number of fires that are caused by lightning strikes. And you can see that these mostly occur during the warm summer months when there's large storms and the vegetation might already be dry. All the red bars indicate the number of fires that are started by human activities. And you can see that there's a lot of fires started by humans, and that these fires can be started at almost any time of the year as long as all the other conditions are appropriate. So this extends the fire season into periods that where wildfire would not normally occur, and has essentially tripled the length of the fire season. This contributes to more fires and also increases the cost of firefighting overall. So the overall trends in wildfires are that fires are bigger, they burn longer, the season is longer, climate is getting hotter and drier, more homes are built on fire-prone lands, more homes are burned. The danger is increasing overall and the costs are increasing as well. More money is being directed towards fighting fires, but less money is available for other forest maintenance because of that. So the question is, what do we want to do about these trends going into the future? So what we've covered in this mini lecture are just an overview of what are the trends in wildfires and what factors contribute to those trends. We've talked briefly about what some of those solutions might be. Smokey Bear was part of a campaign to reduce forest fires. What have been the consequences of that campaign? Has Smokey been successful? There are some examples of Smokey's different messages over the years, a TED Talk from a forest fire expert, and an article for you to read before you do a forum post reflecting on Smokey's role and the future of forest fire management.